Hi, I'm Dr. Jack Schaefer. I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner and functional medicine practitioner. And for the last 20 years, I've been helping people all around the United States really try and reach their optimum health. And today I wanted to spend a little bit of time making this short video about the dreaded stress. Stress is one of those things that we all know about. We hear about constantly in the media. We all know it's bad for us. But really, what does it do? First, I want to say a couple things. There are lots of kinds of stress. You know, I see patients in the clinic, they come in all the time and they'll say things like, well, I don't feel really very stressed. My emotions are pretty good. But when we look at their health and their lifestyle, we see that actually they're under a lot of stress. They may be physical stress. I see this in professional athletes, see this in amateur weekend athletes, maybe dietary stress, stress caused by just eating really poorly, infrequently, too much, not enough. There can be emotional stress, which is what we all tend to think about. It can be stressed by medications, can be stressed by not exercising enough, can be stressed by not enough sleep, too much sleep. There are a lot of reasons we have stress. But let's talk about stress. I'm going to give you 10 things that stress tends to do to our health in a negative way. And I think these are really important. We do need to pay attention to them. The first, and probably one of the scariest ones, is heart disease. That's right, stress can cause heart disease. Researchers have long suspected that being stressed out, that the type A personality has a higher risk of high blood pressure and heart problems. We don't exactly know why, but we know that stress can increase heart rate and blood flow and cause the release of cholesterol, triglycerides, and the like into the bloodstream, and that might actually contribute to it. But it is pretty clear that people who are under lots of stress actually can have some real serious heart problems. In fact, there are cases where people with high sudden stress can actually have a heart attack just from that stress. So heart health can really be damaged by stress. One of the second ones that is actually a surprise to a lot of people when we start talking about it is asthma. There have been studies that have shown that stress can make asthma worse. So if you're somebody who has even mild asthma and you're under a lot of stress, it can trigger asthma attacks. It can make your chronic asthma worse. There are even studies that have shown that asthma in parents before they actually give birth can give the kids asthma as well. That's actually, I think, one of the scariest things out there, is that we can accidentally give our children asthma just by being stressed out. Not a good thing. Number 3 is obesity. That's right. Stress can cause obesity. Basically, stress causes higher levels of a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol then leads to belly fat. And that's a belly fat that's hard to get rid of. Higher levels of belly fat actually lead to other health risks. That fat in our legs, hips, abdomen can have a lot of serious consequences for people down the road. So stress can cause fat. And you may have noticed that in yourself, that times when you're under more stress, you may gain more weight or even have a harder time losing weight. Number 4, stress can cause diabetes. And it can do this in 2 ways. First, stress increases the likelihood of bad behavior. And those bad behaviors like unhealthy eating, excess alcohol, can cause our blood sugar to rise, and in some people can start to produce type 2 diabetes. The second thing that happens is high levels of stress actually seems to raise people's blood glucose levels. And high blood glucose levels over long periods of time can also lead to type 2 diabetes directly. So that's another problem. Okay, number 5, headaches. Stress is considered one of the most common triggers for headaches. Not just a tension headache, but even migraines. In fact, in our clinic, when people come in for headache treatments, whether they're migraines or not, probably I would say easily 80% plus of the time, the headaches are caused by some sort of stress reaction. So chronic headaches, stress could be the culprit. Number 6, depression and anxiety. This is also a really common thing that stress will lead to. High levels of stress over long periods of time can lead to chronic or higher rates of depression and anxiety. In fact, there's a recent survey of studies found that people who have high stress jobs over long periods of time, that are really demanding, that they have very few rewards in, have an 80% higher risk of developing depression. And that depression will usually show up within the first few years of that situation. So stress can lead to depression and anxiety. That may not be a surprise to you. I think that one is pretty common knowledge, but it is a problem. Number 7, stress can lead to gastrointestinal problems. So stress is a really common factor in many other GI conditions, So we often be like stress leads to ulcers, and that's actually not true. We don't really find that the ulcer is caused by stress itself, but chronic stress can make that ulcer worse if you have one. But it'll also lead to other things like heartburn, GERD, so that's gastroesophageal reflux disease, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, all of those other problems that people can have in their digestive systems can sometimes just be caused by stress. And we've seen this over and over and over again in the clinic, where if we just treat the root, which is people's physiologic response to their stress, their gastrointestinal systems will get better too. Number 8, this one may surprise you. I think this one's a pretty scary one, is stress can actually potentially cause Alzheimer's disease. There was a recent animal study that found that if they put high stress on these animals in the study, that they would worsen Alzheimer's disease and get more brain lesions. So I think that's another one that we want to really watch out for. Stress also, number 9, can cause accelerated aging. So there's actually a study that compared the DNA of mothers who were under high stress, who were caring for chronically ill children. And in this study, these researchers found that the region of the chromosomes related to aging showed acceleration. And stress seemed to accelerate their aging from about 9 to 17 additional years. So they would lose a significant amount of time in their lives. So stress and accelerated aging. I know one of the reasons that you're probably even here watching this video is you want to have longer, healthier years. And stress appears to be one way to shorten your lifespan. And stress also has been shown to cause premature death, number 10. So there was a study looking at the health effects of stress on the caregivers of elderly spouses. And they found that people of the same age, if they were a caregiver for a chronically ill or elderly spouse, had a 63% higher death rate than the people who weren't caregivers. So that stress of being a caregiver was actually causing those people to die younger. So aside from all of these health things, heart problems, breathing problems, emotional problems, digestive problems, now we can see that stress also potentially can make us just die younger. That's not a good thing. So what do we do? There's lots of advice out there, like keep a positive attitude, try and be accepting of events that happen in your life. Be assertive instead of aggressive. Try not to be angry. Learn to manage your time. Make time for the things you enjoy. There's lots of really great advice. But honestly, my experience with patients has been this needs to be done on an individual basis. People really do need to be addressed and figured out one by one what makes them tick, what their lifestyle is like, what their current imbalances and weaknesses are, and then those need to be addressed. So fixing your diet actually may be a very valuable way of helping your stress, or fixing your sleep, or one of the many other things that I just mentioned. So this is something that we deal a lot with in our clinic. If you would like a little more information about this, feel free to reach out to us. You can click the link down below to join our private Facebook group. It's Optimized Men's Health, and in that we have lots of health and wellness tips in there. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you also would like, you can click the link for a free discovery wellness call. We can talk on the phone a little bit and get to know your situation and see if there's something that could be done for you. So I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.